looks like we might be live right now. Guys, if you're watching live from the Patriot Dads Fitness group, I'm going to have the comments right here pulled up. If you guys want to put a comment down, let me make sure I can see the live. There we go. All right, guys, we'll wait a couple minutes for those of you to join. Like I said, 5:30 p.m. Eastern time, 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We are live right now. There we go. We can see us both. I'm going to turn that down a little bit. But hey, guys, if you can see me and hear me, I want to make sure that you guys can hear everything that I'm saying. So if you could drop a like, drop a comment saying that I'm loud and clear, that you can actually hear me. And I'm not seeing any of the comment section. I know Facebook made a couple of updates. All right, so guys, go ahead, drop me a comment if you can actually hear me right now, because I want to make sure you guys get my message. Got a special guest today that we're talking to. We're going to talk a lot about fat loss, right? That's the goal. So that's what you guys want to hit. But before we get there, I want to do a couple of shout outs for some of the guys that have been really crushing and really working hard in the past either a couple of weeks, past few months even. First is Brent. Brent, you're just starting off. You started off in my phase 1 boot camp just a couple of weeks ago, and now you started into phase 2, and you're doing awesome. You're already down 4.4 pounds. So congratulations, man. That's super awesome. So keep rocking with your journey. Also, Devin, he's down to 197. That's so great, because I know there were some struggles and some bumps in the road as you were going along, and you're down to 197. Let's keep up with that momentum. Let's keep crushing it. So guys, if you can support Brent and Devin, drop a fire emoji down there in the comment section to support these guys. Also, Robert's lost 26 pounds in just 2 months. So that's super awesome, guys. So guys, cheer him on as well. Robert, you're doing great. You're crushing it. And we see some sustainability happening there, and some actual true body fat only loss while we're building some strength. And then Tony, man, you've been only at it for 4 weeks and you're down 13 pounds. So guys, just please congratulate everyone that I just mentioned. If you could drop a comment, drop some fire emojis down there, some thumbs up, and just really congratulate these guys. They're really working hard on getting to their goals. And that brings me to Joe. And in this call today, we're going to talk about how Joe went from 264 all the way down to 183. And Joe, he went down from 264 down to 229, which is a loss of 35 pounds in his first 9 weeks. We're about a year out from that now, and he's down with a total weight loss of 81 pounds, which is super awesome, super proud of him. And Joe, I just want to give you a chance to introduce yourself to the guys in the group and just tell them a little bit about yourself.
Well, hopefully you can hear me. My name's Joe. I am a retired military officer, 34 years in uniform. And it was a rough ride, of course. I found this group, and it has been an immense help. And all I can say is, if you've attached yourself to this group of individuals in this journey, it's probably the best investment of your time and resources that you can have.
Awesome. And Joe, I want to talk to you about your journey a little bit here. So just tell the guys, like, where were you like a little over a year ago? What were you thinking? What was going on? Like, how was your health?
Okay. Well, so I retired from the military, and of course I was designated as a disabled veteran. And that had taken a toll on my body. For many of the folks, I guess, that affiliate here, you know, we carry certain, you know, scars is maybe the wrong word, because not all of us have scars. It's just years of abuse, the way we had to carry out our duties, the way we had to recover from it, the conditions we lived in, the food we ate, the schedule we kept, and I realized about a year after I had retired that my disability plus, you know, 30 some years of abusing my body, if that's the right word, were taking a toll on me. And I was not feeling good. And I realized that, you know, I was limited by some things I couldn't do. And they were just the basic things. A lot of it is and still can be affiliated with one of my major disabilities. But again, I was counting myself out because I was over 50 and I was broke in my mind. And I knew I had to do something, but I'm also a guy who's looking in the mirror every day, and I don't see myself the same way that others might. So again, I realized that things weren't perfect, but I figured, well, yeah, I still look the same, kind of, and that really wasn't the case.
And what was that self perception of you, like when you looked in that mirror?
Well, again, a person really doesn't know they have a problem until they hit kind of a rock bottom moment. And again, the guy I was looking at in the mirror was an older version of that 18-year-old who went to boot camp one day, and that just wasn't the case. Aside from the obvious signs of aging, I had put some weight on, but an individual's eyes don't adjust to their own problem. They just don't get it. And I was made aware of a certain, it was just a comment that someone had said in passing, and usually it would just roll right off my back. And that, coupled with the fact that, again, I was noticing my own self-awareness was starting to really catch up with me, and I was realizing I wasn't doing the things I should be doing for an age-appropriate individual. And then I started to look. Now, once you start looking, it gets crazy, and you don't know what to do. So, I was in a quandary. I knew I wanted to do something, but I didn't know what.
Absolutely. And I know a lot of the guys that are struggling with this, you guys might be in the same boat. You're like, what, I need something to do. We look back at our younger days and our days in the military, or whether we're in the military or not. You look back and you say to yourself, what happened? Right? What happened to those years? How did I even get here? And then not only that, how do I get out of here? And guys, if you're listening to this message right now and you feel like that's you, comment the word same. Comment the word same in there if you feel like that's you and that's where you're struggling. You just don't know where to get started with, right? Or maybe even you did something in the past that worked very well, and your body was a certain way, and then now age is caught up, and all of a sudden someone made a comment, or you look in the mirror and you're like, man, what happened? Just comment same in the comment section if that's you. And Joe, we all appreciate you sharing that. And I know it's hard to share with some people, but what sort of things were you doing to actually fix that? I know you said you didn't know exactly where to start. Were there any things that you were actually trying to do?
Well, okay. The military guy that I had been for the last 30 some years took over and says, well, of course I know exactly what to do. And I went back to my toolkit, and the toolkit I had was 34 years old, and it involved sweating more, but not having a plan about how to do it. And of course, the more you do, the better you're going to get, right? And so, like any other uneducated idiot who goes about doing this, I would often have fits and starts. Like I said, I kind of had a realization 3 or 4 months before I affiliated with you folks here at MDF PDF. And of course, I tried to do it on my own. And, just like the guy you read about, I went at it too hard that first week and paid for it for the next 2. And, it was one of those things that it was painful. It wasn't something I looked forward to doing. And of course, I showed absolutely no results because, all you get is sore and swollen, and you don't get the results you want. In fact, sometimes you even regress.
Absolutely. And what's the word for that when we try to continuously do that same thing that we did before over and over again? We're just not getting the results, but we're expecting it. There's a word for that.
Yeah, it's like lunacy or craziness.
That's Einstein's definition of insanity. When we try to continuously do the things that we're doing when we were in our younger years, or maybe even more recent, right? Maybe it was something you tried 6 months ago. I've talked to guys that have done keto over and over again. They get less and less results each time and put more and more weight back on when they stop. It's insane. But the problem is there's just so much out there right now, right? It's just so mind-boggling, all the overwhelm that's out there, that it's no wonder we're trying to go back to what worked before. It's too confusing out there. Would you agree?
It's a jungle out there, especially again, I was a military professional for so long. I did not study um, physical fitness, nutrition, general wellness. It was just one of those things that I was given kind of minimal maintenance and training, and I had to figure out for my own. As soon as I left an organized, structured training program, so to speak, which for most of us is introductory training, boot camp. Pick your name, OCS, ROTC. As soon as you leave that, you're on your own. It's up to you to figure out. And I know the military is trying to get better with that, but it just wasn't in time for me.
Absolutely. So what did you do to actually turn it all around?
Well, I had to come to the realization I needed help. I guess like anyone with a problem, that's bigger than themselves. You need help. And of course, I went to my spouse and I said, "Hey, I got to go do something." And of course, she gave me the full support, and that's important because if you're looking at embarking on something that is going to change and change you in a significant way, you need buy-in from the people around you, because if you don't, you're going to fail. Especially if this is the person who's providing your meals and doing things like that. So and I think she was grateful that I came out of my fog, my induced probably 20+ year fog, and said, "Hey, I need to turn it around." So then I had to go looking for help. And that help, believe it or not, was in the form of a simple web advertising that had the old moniker of MDF. And I had gone through a few, and I'd looked through a few of these things, and I, for whatever reason, looked at the offering that you had, and what I thought was interesting, and hopefully the others in the group will agree with me. You didn't have an immediate solution. You said, and I think the message was, just hit this button and talk to me. That's the first thing you wanted to do. You laid out, "Hey, here's a list of things that can happen. Here's what we can do together. But before we, I'm not going to name a price. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to tell you it's going to work. I want you to talk to me first." And I think that was the most endearing thing that drew me to this program. And again, I looked at a lot, and they wanted money, and then all they wanted was money, and then I'll send you a workout, and hasta la vista. That's what I got from it. So I was very comforted by the fact that you wanted to chat first. And of course, comforted by the fact that of your background and the things that you had done and your experiences. So those two things were the first step: buy-in from my family, and then stumbling, for lack of a better term, stumbling onto your advertising, and then having the courage to call.
Absolutely. And a lot of many, even myself included, dads, especially back in the past, we have issues asking for help, right? It's hard to ask for help, and sometimes that's all we need is help, right? And like Joe was saying, yeah, I want to have a conversation with you guys first, because I'll be the first person to tell you that there is no program, there is no coach out there that is meant for everyone. It's just that's not how it works, right? We need to be able to get to your goals. You need to have a good relationship with who you're getting help with, right? Whether it's a coach, whether it's your doctor, whether it's a dietitian, whether it's your spouse, doesn't matter who. You need a good relationship with the person that's offering you help, because then you could have a good relationship with someone that you're trying to help. It's all about that leadership. It just goes downhill. Like, we need that leadership, right? I love having leadership in my life, and everyone else needs that leadership in their life, because that's what actually works. So I appreciate you sharing that with me. And those of you that are struggling right now, absolutely, I would love to have a conversation with you as well. If you comment help, I just want to have a conversation with you. We'll jump in Messenger. If we need to hop on a call or whatever, just comment the word help, and I'll reach out to you. I would love to talk to you about your goals. I'd love to talk to you about what's going on and what kind of roadblocks you might be facing. That's it. We just want to talk. But as far as your progress, Joe, so what's your life looking like right now for the guys in the group?
Well, as I progressed through this, You know, it was tough starting at first, right? So we sat down, we had our conversation, we decided on a plan, and we moved out. The interesting part was that I had to let go of the whole process, which is very difficult, because, you know, usually as men, right, and then as military guys, we want our hands on the whole process, and we want to know about everything. And to your credit, you gave me just what I needed. You know, I didn't get all I wanted, I got what I needed. And it was a very slow and deliberate process that I got frustrated with those first few weeks, because I was convinced I had to go faster and you know, break more of my hump to do it. And you luckily had a very measured approach, and got me, you know, through the stages and through your plans and through a few, I guess, iterations of your program, which was very, very appreciated. So where am I now? Well, you know, the numbers are what the numbers are. And they happen because you were able to provide me, again, what I needed. And I, on the other hand, is the other part of this transaction, this deal, this compact we made, was I had to do it. And that was something to realize. I mean, again, most of us, or all of us, had done this military oath thing in duty. Well, again, if you were going out of your way to do it, I don't mean by out of the way, I mean, you know, obviously you provided a service, but it was not going to work unless I did the other half of this. And I found it one of those things. It was behaviors I had to relearn. I had to understand I had limits, and I had to do things in a different pace. A, because I was disabled, and B, because I was older, and C, because I just didn't know enough. So again, once I had more education on those things that I probably should have known, but didn't, just due to life experience and happenstance, things became a little bit easier. I had to learn how to re-eat. And I think you bring this up often in the weekly calls. You have to learn how to change your relationship with food. And because this is not just an exercise program, and this is training your body to do all the things you did wrong while serving in military, as far as eating, sleeping, and exercising. And I hate to say it, but, you know, knowing what I know now, they could have done it much better in the early 80s when I joined, but it was what it was. And so where I am now is in a place where I'm eating better, I'm sleeping better, and I'm moving better. And, you know, I'm not a triathlete by any shape or form. You know, I don't think I've run longer than a quarter of a mile since we started. And that's the big thing, because I have joint mobility issues. But where I am now is I'm not carrying a lot of extra weight, which, believe it or not, helps. It's momentum. It makes you want to do more things, because it's just not a hassle to do it. My family and friends have noticed a difference in me, a significant difference in me. And I'm not comfortable with that yet still, because I'm ashamed sometimes at how I let my body go. And I know I shouldn't be, because, you know, we're human beings and this happens, but seeing where I've come from and kind of where I am now, and to be honest, you know, I'm really not where I want to be, but I'm you know, it's an oscillating process to get there. I'm in a much better place, and, you know, hopefully I can continue on with at least maintaining where I am now and improving.
Awesome. I love that.
It's often tough to talk about things. I haven't put a lot of brain power to this, but you know, I'm in a much better place for so many reasons I can't put to words.
I love that. I love that. And you mentioned like the joint issues too. What was your experience like going through the whole process? You know, because I know that was one thing that we talked about on our original call. You're like, hey man, I got these joint problems, so I don't know. I don't know about the fitness portion of this. And obviously,
Sure.
it isn't all fitness. We're talking about nutrition,
Right.
stress, and everything. But what did you experience?
Well, again, because we communicated and we communicated early, um, the program that I was presented was extremely low impact, and friendly to the joints. Now, I'm not saying that I didn't move my joints, and I didn't say that you know it wasn't uncomfortable at times because you know you got to knock the rust off, and that's got to happen. Um, but the way and the method and the manner in which it was reintroduced, it wasn't something that dissuaded me from going to the next day's program. Here's what's on for today. Here's what's on tomorrow. I never looked at it and went, "Oh man, nah, you know, this is like a railroad spike going in my spine." No, everything was very measured. Maybe the few times I provided feedback to you about this, that, you know, you right away had some advice saying, hey, do this instead of this, or, you know, you might want to try this method instead of that, or show me the beauty of technology. Show me how you're doing this. And inevitably you would find out I'm doing a technique wrong, and you know, it's more negative on myself.
Awesome. I love that. And what you mentioned earlier is just you were talking a little bit, and it's kind of goes towards that belief system, right? You believe if you believe the things that you need to do. I can give you all the do's. I gave you the do's to do, right? But I can't make you do it. Right? I couldn't make you do it. You got the results that you got because you did it, because you believed in it. That's the believe, do, have system, right? You believe it, you do it, you can absolutely have the results that you want. Absolutely. Like you're a shining example. And guys, if you're listening from the group, like just type believe, do, have. If that's something that just really resonates with you, if you're in that boat and you're like, you need something that's actually just meant for you, and you're willing and you're ready to actually do it, you can actually have those results. I love that. So what do you look forward to actually doing now?
Well, I want to continue, right? You know, I want to, I don't want to lose momentum in progress. Although I realize, you know, it's going to vacillate. I'm going to get to a point where the weight loss gets harder, but it's a level of fitness I have. So I want to maintain this level of fitness and maybe improve that. Um, you know, you mentioned progress, and you know, and sometimes you get caught up in chasing a certain number, whether it's a weight or it's a body measurement or what. And there's certain numbers you got to chase because it shows your progress. But at the same time, you can't lose sight of the fact that numbers are half of it. The fact you can walk around the block without, you know, completely stroking out, or your clothes fit differently, or the fact that things don't hurt. That has to be put into perspective too. And the fact you can enjoy things with your family that you hadn't before, that you appreciate that foods taste a little bit differently. So I want to keep all of that going because there are things that I haven't experienced in probably 10 or 15 years the same way that I am now.
Absolutely. It's really interesting that you mentioned the food, because I remember I told you guys in one of the weekly calls about my experience with food when I was going through. I used to love pizza, right? I used to love pizza all the time. I would get like order like Papa John's or Pizza Hut. And then as you start to like try to get healthier, the taste actually does change, right? When you start to eat healthier, and it makes some better choices. Not saying I don't eat pizza anymore. I still love it, but I'm going to find the best pizza joint I can find when I actually want it. That's awesome. So Joe, do you mind if I show the guys your progress?
I don't. I'm again. I'm a bit sheepish about you know, the before picture, but you know, for the greater good, and to move it forward to other folks, please do.
Awesome. Awesome. Guys, this is Joe right here. And let me know if you guys can see my screen. Comment that you can see it in here. This is where Joe started here on the left. This is where he started, 264, and got himself all the way down to 183. I think even at one point, if you can see over at the bottom right, that was actually a 179. Then we started to build up some more muscle, more momentum. But Joe's doing awesome. And I want every one of you that's watching this to just congratulate Joe on this success, because again, he did this, right? One of the things I can't do is go to Joe's house and just slap him upside the head and say, get going, right? You got to believe, that you can do this stuff. The accountability is going to be there. You're definitely going to be held accountable. But as far as, someone actually just making you do it, that's your belief system. If you believe it and you do it, you can absolutely have results just like this. And guys, if you're looking for results like this, and any of this resonates with you, comment me below in the comment section. Comment me right now. Like I said, I'd love to have a conversation with you. And Joe, I'd like to ask you, if anything, what would be a piece of advice that you would give someone that's really struggling right now just to get started on their own health journey and that has just haven't done anything yet? What would it be a piece of advice that you would give them?
Well, first and foremost, come to a realization. If they've actually come to that realization that they do need help, seek out help, use the resources you have available, talk to people. Of course, I was lucky enough to talk to the right person. It might be you, it might be somebody else. I don't know. That's going to differ with everybody. But come to the realization you need help and get it. And mine was very two-dimensional. The second piece of advice is that whatever you decide to do, it's going to take time. And I've been affiliated with you for a year, and it comes in fits and starts. So no matter what program you get on, good, bad, or otherwise, it's going to take time, and not only time in months and weeks, but it takes time during your day. There is an investment in doing this, and if you don't set an hour to yourself, to work any exercise program, and that includes a warm up, an actual work portion, and a cool down, things aren't going to happen. So anybody that says you can do something in less than 30 minutes, I don't believe them. At a minimum, after my year, you need a personal investment every day of 30 minutes to do something.
Absolutely.
Because what you're doing is, I heard this piece of advice from another individual, that you always have a relationship with your body you have to treat like a spouse, because there's two of you. There's you and then the body, and you have to work together to get to that goal, whatever it is. And there has to be two willing participants, you and the mind and the body, because your body's always trying to be perfect, to live in harmony, and it's not always working with your mind or your desires, rather. And as soon as you realize that you have to have a working relationship with your body, which means there's going to be goods, there's going to be bads, you're going to have arguments, you're not going to, you can look at that weight loss chart and see for yourself that sometimes your body has a disagreement with you in what you're doing, and you have to come together. So as soon as you realize that this is going to be an imperfect process and you have to work at it like any other relationship, you're 50% of the way there. And again, it's just the basic act after that of finding the right program for you and doing it.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that, Joe. And what Joe's talking about just is prioritizing yourself, right? You got to prioritize yourself. You got to prioritize your own self-health, right? Because if you're not doing that, it's not gonna, there's no magic pill, guys. There's no magic pill out there that you can take that is going to just get you to burn off the fat and increase the energy, sleep better, and get all muscly. It's not going to happen. You do got to put in the work. And the plus side of this is, if you can create a system a standardized that has these small standards of practices in it, you can stay healthy. You can do exactly what Joe did, right? It's going to be work, especially at the beginning, right, Joe? There's definitely some work at the beginning, but then as you got used to it, it just became a way of life. And if you make healthy choices a way of life, they become automatic behaviors. You turn your body into a fat burning machine. You turn your body into a healthy machine. And that's how you do it, by doing the work now, by believing in yourself, believing in the things that you need to do so that you can create those behaviors later on down the road. Because here's the honest to God truth. If you are struggling with weight loss, or you're on medications that you want to get off, like you have one of the big ones, right? Like diabetes, cardiovascular disease, high blood pressure, cholesterol, any of those, and you want to get off those things, and you're struggling to figure out what you need to do, and you're just trying to make the right choice and take that action and say, you know what, if it's not perfect, I can't do it. You're already going to struggle going forward. Joe mentioned it earlier, just taking that action, take that imperfect action, because this is the rest of your life we're talking about, not just, a couple months, not just a couple weeks, right? If your action is doing everything that you need to do to get healthy all at once, that's a recipe for burnout, overwhelm, and for you to quit. And we see it every single year, right? Who's tried it on January 1, right? Type January 1 in the comments if that's you. You type it, you go on January 1, you try to get to the gym, you get on a meal plan, you carry a jug of water with you everywhere you go, get plenty of sleep, and you try to do everything that you need to do. It's a list of things that you have to do, go on and on and on. But statistically, January 18th, people cancel their gym membership. Why? Because they set their standards up here. They set their standards, they went too hard, too fast at the beginning. And instead of setting some standards down here to where they can create stepping stones to actually get to their goals. It's important that we do that. It's important that we create stepping stones towards our goals that are reasonable for us so we can actually achieve them. Right? So if any of that resonates with you guys, again, comment me below. Comment me below in the comment section. I'd love to have a conversation with you. I want to pull up the comment section here. I know I said I was going to have it up there. It wasn't working on my phone, so I'll pull it up here to see if you guys have any questions. Is there any questions that you guys wanted to ask? And let me skim through them just a little bit. We got a lot of congratulations, Joe. Tony, Matt says congratulations. Jose, we got Armando. Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome. A lot of congratulations in here for you, brother. Awesome. John, you said you can hear us. That's at the beginning. All right. Brent says great transformation. And then tell us, I'm going to try to make sure I don't butcher your name, brother. Mr. Torres, we'll call you Torres. Mr. Torres, he said, awesome job, Joe, as well. Awesome, guys. So again, comment below if any of this resonated with you. Comment me if that's you, if you feel that's you, and you just really want to get on a sustainable plan and just want to have a conversation with someone that's going to help guide you in that area. That's all I want to do, is help guide you there. Whether you end up with me or somewhere else, that's okay, right? I just want to help guide you to the right place, guide you in the right area. Because like Joe said, you need to have conversations with people. Don't just go respond to an ad and say, okay, here's my money, right? That's not going to work for you. I want you guys to actually do your research and have a conversation with someone to see if it's even a good fit for you, all right? And that's it for today. Joe, anything closing that you wanted to say to the guys?
No, I would just say that, of course, in thinking back, nobody ever wants to be where I was a year ago, saying, "Man, how did I let myself go?" But sometimes we are where we're at, and I'm realizing now that, again, I was 5 or 10 years behind where I needed to be. It's never too late. Find the right program. Get okay with your body. Get okay with your head. Get it. Make sure that they're in in union with what you want to do. Understand that it's going to be an investment in resources and time, and pick something you do that you can do for the long haul. That can support your lifestyle, that can support events in your life, and understand that it takes some re-education to do that, whether it's physical, mental, or whatever. It's going to take time. And I was lucky that of course you had a program here that made me read things, made me do things, and had me think about things. So, and I had some great chats with some fellow vets, still am, and hopefully we'll get that to continue for a bit.
Absolutely. And you mentioned something really important there. Do something that you can do and do it long term, right? What is the thing that I tell you guys all the time on the group calls?
Oh, you tell us so many things, but if it's not sustainable, don't do it. I mean,
Absolutely. Do something that you can do well and consistently, guys, because that's the piece that's missing from all those other cookie cutter programs out there, like keto, paleo, some of the other fitness ones. I'm not going to name them out there because I don't want to get in trouble with Facebook or anything. But a cookie cutter program is a band-aid, right? It's basically a band-aid. It says you can get to this result really quickly. And what I see in the industry is most people, right, about 45 to 48% of people actually diet very well every single year. The problem is 90 to 98% of those people put the weight back on plus more after that diet's over. And the same thing happens with fitness plans. Now, it's because they're band-aid plans that don't address why you got unhealthy in the first place and what you need to do to stay healthy. They only say you can burn off this fat quickly, right? Or you can build up some muscle quickly. But once it's over, you go back to your old ways. If you haven't identified the bad habits or the bad behaviors that you have before, and you're just putting a band-aid on top of them to get some results, what's going to happen when you finish? The weight's going to go back on. And that's why my plans have always been about teaching, not just ordering you guys around. We need to look at past, present, and future, guys. Right? Joe, I appreciate you being on this call with me today and just telling the guys your story and your journey. Super awesome. You really put in a lot of effort here. You deserve every bit of success that you got and the weight that you're at right now. I'd love to see what comes from you next. And I know we're talking about reconf now and crushing and building up some more muscle now. So super awesome to see that journey go through. Guys, if you have any other questions or any other comments, post them in there. I'll definitely come take a look at all your comments. I'm sure Joe will too if you had a question for him. But you guys have a great rest of your day and have a great weekend. And Joe, I will see you later as well.
Thank you.